let's just take a moment to arrive. Let me hold space, just, get here, arrive, sit down, or go on your walk. Let me just hold the space when you're ready. Sorry, I just realized I've been talking and I was muted. I want to do today's spirit journey in a little different, how do you say, setting. Because usually I tell you a little bit about the energy, then I explain, and then we go into the journey. And today I want to explain first for anybody who is here for the first time. Aloha, my beautiful, wonderful soul. My name is May. I'm your neurospicy cyberwitch, and here to help you unravel anything that has to do with your witchy, highly sensitive, and or ADHD side, or any form of neurospicy, or for anybody who's interested in energies in general. If you sign up to my cyber coven, of course, our safe space for, for us neurodivergent, witchy, highly sensitive people. If you sign up there, you will receive, a little, I call it the Serve Your Energy Wave series that I'm having right now, where I take you from overwhelm to, self-trust. So if you feel like doing so, that's my newsletter. Come join me there. And as to the journeys that I guide every Sunday at 9 p.m., 21 p.m., no, sorry, 21 o'clock, I think it is, 9 p.m. Central European time, or sorry, now it's Central European summertime. Um, for these journeys that I guide you, I just had music on, but I don't do it during the journey because I've realized that a lot of us, because we have so many different forms of sensitivity. Some of us are more sensitive to noise, and I'm calling it noise specifically because, for some of us it's a little bit harder to hear. So I just have the music in the beginning to sort of like, for us to arrive in this space and then, for the journey. Of course, if you feel like it, you can always go ahead and get yourself, the music that I recommend. Um, and I keep forget. I don't know how to say the name properly, and I don't know if it's an artist, a male or female, or, I don't know the pronouns for this artist. I just know that this music has come to me when early on when I started, with streaming platforms, and I've liked everything, and especially because they also have very shamanic music. If you prefer, drumming, then that's going to be your go-to. I'm going to put it in the chat here so that you have it. Um, Let me see if I can pin it to the post. There you go. So if you're if you go into the chat, you can see it there. Sorry, I think I was going into the wrong side, that side. As to the journeys itself, when I speak of spirit guides or spirits in general. No, spirits is one thing. Spirit guides is a second thing. For me, spirits in general are from someone who used to walk this earth, a human soul, basically. When I speak of spirit guides, it brings in everybody. This can be your ancestors that have walked this plane. This can be, any form of helping energies that are out there that can be it as well. It can be, and I'm talking about like in my case when I start, because I've been through a spiritist teaching, learning apprenticeship and shamanic apprenticeship. And so you go through all the different forms of spirit energies that are supporting us. And then there's the human ones, not to compare with the ones, if you're thinking of, spirits that have been kept here in this plane because of, for whatever reasons. I'm not talking about those. For those, or to be protected of those kind of spirits, I bring in, I open the circle for us as the ones participating in this journey, but I close it off to any kind of spirit that doesn't belong. We only want to call in the spirit guides that belong to us, to each of us here inside of the circle. We're calling in the spirit energies that are here, meaning it can be human. Like I think, no, not think, keep your head out of it. I know that I have three spiritual teachers. I'm going to call them spiritual teachers that have lived on this plane. One actually showed me how many times we have been doing this together. Always, like, sometimes we've been together on this plane, sometimes just one of us, and the other one is a spirit guide. Um, those are, I think, usually you call them spirit guides or spiritual teacher or spiritual healers. Then there's the spiritual healers. I like that very much. They help us heal whenever we need healing, if we have that. Then there's ancestral energies that support us from our ancestors. And again, those are most of the time humans because we have those kind of families. Um, yeah, and then any form of, magical creatures. talking about nature spirits, talking about animal spirits, elements. Like if you feel connection to elements, or if that is a spirit guide for you, or of course, all the goddesses from all the pantheons we've had, all the saints, all the ye angels, you know, I always that's why I want to give them the main name of spirit guides. Because in the end, for me, and this is how I was taught, and then later also, uh, you know, learned further that in the end, it's it's important that we call on our spirit guides that are there. But for us, it doesn't matter to understand which one it has to be. If if I'm saying this correctly, because I remember when I was learning to work with spirit, I would go like, okay, now I'm working with this spirit, and this is the one, and then I kept asking that one until it actually happened that I had one of my spirits go and bother another shaman, um, and start waking them up and telling them to tell me to speak to them because I was working with other spirits. Um, so that's when I realized that it's not always us deciding on who's helping us. That's why you will always see me when I guide you opening the ether up and saying, for whoever wants to help me today with today's journey, with today's task, with what I want to do today, whatever spirit and energy from my spirits, from my spiritual team wants to support me, and please, please come forward, please show yourself, and please be here. So that's why I'm asking you to generalize it for yourself so that because that way you open yourself up and you're not closing it in because you might want to speak, for example, to that specific ancestor. And maybe that ancestor has something else to do or, whatever. And maybe it's actually, you think that it's that ancestor, but maybe it was someone else, right? So be open-minded about that one, about who wants to come into your space in that circle, right? Again, remember, I'm taking all my spirits to keep this safe, to make this space a safe space for us. So there's not, there's no evil energy coming in. It's all, it's all protected. Um, so you can trust the energies that are going to be showing up in that moment. What else? So we said the type of spirits that you can meet. The other important thing that I believe is for you to understand how you can see. Because for me, for example, I sometimes have it visually in front of me. Sometimes I hear, and sometimes it's a deep knowing. And I can't tell you which is going to be today. It's just whichever it is, whichever is necessary for today, that's the one that will show up. And that's the one that I will have, right? I know from others that they taste, um, so that they feel, something on their skin, that they feel the answers. So I think that especially because of our neurospiciness, I believe that vision is a strong one and knowing is a very strong one. But again, I do think that, like hearing or the other forms of clairvoyancy, I'm going to call it clairvoyancy, is possible. And if you ask yourself if that's you too, like if you have that as well, know that be sure that you do. I believe that if you have been called to be here to participate in this journey, you definitely have that form, some form of clairvoyancy as well. You can feel your spirits. And I think everybody can practice and can learn to do it. Um, Sorry, I think learning to do it is the wrong word because I believe we all knew how to do it when we came on this plane. The thing is just that, over time we put in all our, other stuff, but that's going too far. But anyhow, just for you to know, if you're here, your system will see something or hear something or feel something or know something. And allow yourself to trust whatever shows up. Okay? Trust yourself for whatever shows up. In case something feels a little bit scary, ask your spirit guides to help you, to make it more understandable, to make it less scary for you. And if it's something is not clear, ask your spirit guides to make it clear for you so that you understand. That I think that's very important for you to know that you can do that. You can set the intention because these forms of journeys that I guide you through are set on the intention. And that's the next thing that we're going to do today is set an intention for your journey. And that's going to be your anchor. So right now, take a moment to think about what you want to know from your spirit guides. Like, is it that you need guidance for something specifically next week? Is it that you need have questions? Do you have a special challenge where you want support? Is there, what else could it be? If you're having this, I'm going to call it the world pain that a lot of us sensitive, highly sensitive and hypersensitive ones have, is that we feel the pain of the world that's happening right now everywhere. And I know it makes us feel numb, like we can't do anything about it because it's the whole world, but we are able to send out positive vibes, positive energy. And I'm not saying that that's, like we can't always, go from the anxious side into, oh, now let's send love and light for Earth, right? So do as do the part that you can in that moment. Like if it's just that, feeling calm, as asking your spirit guides to help you get back into trust that everything's going to turn out all right, right? That everything is going to be okay. Or ask your spirit guides. You can also do that. Ask your spirit guides, is there anything that I can do to support Earth, support, the world consciousness with all of this to just help. That's the part that we can do, right? Yeah, so that's that. If you have any questions, let me just check real quick in the chat if anyone has any questions, but I don't see any, so I think we're going to be fine on that side. All right. So while you prepare yourself, oh yeah, sorry. One last thing I almost forgot. We are neurospices, and we sometimes it's hard for us to to sit still, to lay still, to, whatever. If you feel like walking while you're doing this meditation with this journey with us, please feel free to do so. Just be, mindful with your surroundings. If you prefer to sit down, please do that. If you prefer to lay down, whichever feels right. In case you do fall asleep because you decided to lay down or sit, don't worry. You're in the circle, you're in the energy, right? So allow yourself to just embrace whatever wants to come. If your brain right now is going into overdrive with thoughts, that's also okay. Just let them pass by because that's a good moment to practice. Allow them to come in and pass by. Come in and pass by. Whenever you can, use your anchor, use your intention to reel yourself back in. But you're going to have days, not saying it's today, but just in case, you're going to have days sometimes where it feels like, I don't know. My thoughts are, it's too much thoughts, right? So use those moments as, your wellness thing. Just, sit with your spirit guides and just allow the thoughts to just shower you and pass by you and just be, right? Don't pressure yourself too much that you have to see anything or that you have to go in conversations. We're doing this every Sunday, right? There's going to be a Sunday where you're going to be able to do it, all right? Because sometimes your system still needs, to flood it out. But don't worry, even if it feels like, you're not able to concentrate, focus too much on the journey itself, because it's a circle. Mm, it's a journey. We're all in it together. We're in it together. We are a circle. The whole energy of every one of us is in here, is happening here, right? Anybody who sees this recording later on is going to be here already too, because time is a weird construct. So everybody's already here. And even if the journey doesn't turn out the way you wanted it to be as a journey, you can be sure that it was good for your system the way that that happens, because that's the intention that we're all setting in for this journey, that I am setting when I ask the spirits to create the circle and keep that circle safe so that everybody gets the information, gets the support and the energy that they need for today. All right. So I think now I'm done. Okay, I think now I got everything. Perfect. So now you know for the journey, so you can go and find your favorite spot. Oh yeah, again, if you need to move, if you need to eat, if you need to drink, go for it. All right. If you need to open your eyes, I always say, please, maybe for the first time, so just for you to get used to, it's better to keep your eyes closed, but always do whatever feels right for you. If closing your eyes is a deal breaker, keep them open. All right. As long as you can listen to my voice, if that's the most important thing. That way, because you can use my voice to anchor you back into the circle, all right? All right, now let's get to the energy for next week. Next week, yes, we are rounding the swell. After the Aries search that we had last week, the energy is still, moving forward, but it's not as soft as it was in the, no, sorry, it's not as strong as it was in the beginning. So hopefully it's going to be a little bit less fighting, more, finding cooperation, more adjusting, sort of like adjusting the sail, and not like it probably felt the last couple of weeks, sort of like paddling for your life. So that's a good sign for next week. Um, in the overall for us, so again, it's still part of the search for the equinox and Aries new moon that we had, but it's starting, the crest of our wave is going down. If we see everything as waves, the wave is rounding out now at the moment. Um, what could come up next week is that, that feeling of now that I'm finally a little clearer and supported, now I have to catch up with everything that I didn't get to do before. That's yes, we understand. And yes, me too. I understand that search completely. But it's also good in that moment for yourself to, understand that, okay, your wave wants to be doing a lot of things, but sometimes it's still, as a moment to take a breath. All right. So be mindful with yourself not to start running too much. All right. The good thing is always to check in with the energies for yourself. I think this is a reminder we're having at the moment all the time. And I'm not saying about, I know that we need to check in as well if it's, energy that doesn't belong to us or if it isn't. But the more we look at the point of view from our side, so no matter if the energy comes from someone on the outside, if we take responsibility for the parts of the energies that were inside of us that are there, that want to be looked at, and that's why, they created that person or that situation, that's something that we should look at so that we can transform and change it and, make it better for later. And that way we don't create those forms of energies anymore. Yes. So for our spirit team, the spirit team, what is one relationship pattern that I can release now so that my nervous system can breathe more freely? That will be something that you could, if you want to, take as your anchor, as your instruction, as your intention for today's journey, for example. But like I said last week, the one focus that you should have, and I'm copying this one into the chat, is the wave is round and steady. So you don't have to fix every relationship, but just let one mask drop where it feels safe. One honest no, one deeper breath. That's enough. Because that's what, that's where we're moving towards with, with everything happening around us, is that we are allowed. I'm saying it that way because it feels better than we have to. We are allowed to become more ourselves, to be more authentically ourselves. Yeah. So that's the intention for the wave today. And now let's move into the journey time. My beautiful ones, let's move into the journey time. So find your beautiful spot. If you don't have your own intention, you can, use the one that I just mentioned. What's the one mask that you can take away? And I know this is sort of like a little bit of a repeater, but the thing is that it's getting there. It's getting there. We are getting there more and more to become ourselves. Yes. With that said, find yourself your spot, whether walking or sitting or laying down. And as always, let's start with breath work. This is something that I learned from my Hawaiians, and I love it because it's such a fix, for any kind of situation. If you remember, take this moment to take a deep breath for yourself. But instead of just breathing like this, imagine yourself inhaling through your crown chakra, the energy going through your whole body. And then when you exhale, it exits through your navel, through your belly button. Belly button. Mm. And if you have to start yawning, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're tired. This is a lot of energy starting to move already in your body. It can be yawning, it can be sneezing, coughing, burping. That's all, especially when it happens while you're doing something like this, it's, energy moving. But it doesn't mean that when, because I was just explaining, you inhale through your crown chakra, you let it go through your whole body and let it exhale through your belly button. It doesn't mean that when you're out and about and you're doing is just to, take a moment to breathe. It is going to help you to, just connect with yourself and with your body. And if you want to take it one step further, and that's what we're going to do today for the journey, is we're going to inhale a clear energy from the universe and let that energy go through our whole body and then exit when we exhale through our belly button, taking away all the sorrows, all the worries, anything that doesn't serve you anymore is all being exhaled through your belly. Hmm. And while you keep on breathing in that way, I'm going to open up our circle, invite in all our spirit guides. And today I see my dragons circling around, opening the circle for all of us and going on there to keep it safe, to bless it, so that everybody who is part of the circle today and in the future will receive the blessings, the answers, the energy that they need. And with the dragons came the other magical beings like unicorns and Magical nature spirits. Beautiful. And I see the ancestors coming in. Thank you so much for being here. Ancestral energies. And here come our spirit animals, totem animals, all kinds of animals coming in to support us. Thank you so much. Ah, the elephant is back. Thank you so much. And we call in the angels, the deities, all kinds of deities, all kinds of spirit guides, spiritual teachers, spiritual healer teams. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in, for helping us to hold this space today that we have. All the elements, all the directions. Oh, I'm feeling the herbs coming in too. Nice. Herbal energies are coming in. Wow, thank you. Thank you for being part of this circle. To anybody participating and to all the spirit guides supporting us. And I'm going to invite you to come and join us here in this wonderful space. It feels like we're somewhere out on the countryside, a beautiful barn on the side, and a huge bonfire in the center. And a lot of logs where we can sit around the bonfire and feel the warmth of the new blossoming year coming in. Hello, everybody. And as we're sitting down on these logs and just, taking this moment in, seeing everybody there, we see some beautiful fairies flying around with sage and rattles and just rattling everybody up and using the sage to sort of like give us a little cleanse, energetic cleanse to be here in this space. And other nature spirits are going around bringing us something to drink, to sit here. This feels like we're invited to a celebration with our spirits for the coming spring. And as we're sitting there, zipping the water that we received and taking everybody in, we start to feel our own spirit guides come closer. And we feel them sitting down next to us. I see some of them also standing behind us or sitting down in front of us. But it's like you found your perfect little place here where you can feel and see or know which spirits or spirit guides are around you today, right now. Hmm. These are your spirit guides. Bring back into your awareness, your anchor, your intention for today's journey. If you want to say it out loud in your inside of your mind, tell your spirits, tell your spirit guides that are here today, what is it that you want to know from them? Where is it that you need support? Where is it that you need guidance? And whenever you feel like you're drifting away, bring back your anchor. Use this intention to anchor yourself back at this place, at the bonfire with your spirit guides. And ask them what it is that you want, that you need. And I will come back to call you when it's time to make our next practice. Slowly, you bring back your attention to our beautiful bonfire celebration. Mm. And you take a moment to just let everything sink in that your spirit guides told you or gave you today. Mm. And you ask them to give you an anchor, a word, an image, a sound, something that will help you remember the message that you received today from your spirit guides for the coming week. And trust that the first thing that you see, feel, or hear is intuitively the right thing for you that will help you remember today's message. And with that knowledge, you take everything that you receive today. Let's say thank you so much to the spirit guides that appeared today, that showed themselves with their beautiful and wonderful message. Thank you so much for that, for having been part of this today. Let's keep this celebration open so that anybody who wants to come back here during the week can just come back into this space and meet again with your spirit guides. Know that this place is here for you to come back at any time and any moment that you need the support. And with that said, we say thank you. Thank you so much to our spirit guides. Thank you for your support. Thank you to the universe, to Mother Earth, to all the spirit guides, angels, deities, magical creatures that were hosting this wonderful celebration in this space. Thank you so much. And we take this moment to come back to our breathing. Inhale again through your crown chakra, but this time you exhale through your feet and allow the energy to fill you up. When you inhale and then release itself again through your feet when you exhale. And with this breathing, you inhale it and you allow it to release through your feet and to let go. And you feel how this form of breathing anchors you back into your body, brings back. If you feel like you need it a little more, inhale through your crown chakra, exhale through your feet. And do this as often as you need it until you start feeling your body again, whether it's sitting or standing or walking. Maybe you feel like You want to move a little bit, allow yourself to move without opening your eyes yet, if you have had them closed. And just allow yourself to stretch a little bit. To feel back into your body wherever it is right now. And take one last deep breath, inhaling universal, wonderful energy through your crown chakra and exhaling it through your feet. And whenever you're ready and whenever you feel grounded, sorry, open your eyes and come back to your here and now. Some energy needed to move. Allow yourself to, cough, yawn, burp. Allow the energy to move through your body and take this wonderful energy of today into the next week. It is staying, here on the streaming in my YouTube channel. So if you feel like you need to come back to this place, feel free to come back to this video. And yeah, I just want to give you a lot of blessings for the coming week. May you find the right words. May you find the right strength to set boundaries where needed. And may you find yourself to be able to show more of you, of your true self. And in case you still feel like you're not 100% there, go back to the breathing, inhaling through your crown chakra, exhaling through your feet, and do it as long as it takes for you to come back into your body. With that said, my beautiful soul, have a magical and wonderful, a week full of wonders.